Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Minnesota State Park Hiking Club Trail Series. Today, we traveled to Afton State Park in Hastings, Minnesota. Afton State Park was opened to the public in 1982 after more than a decade of conflict around its creation. It originated when the beach land went up for sale in 1967, eventually led to the approval of the bill to create the park in 1969. The need for an additional park was made evident because of the significant popularity William O'Brien State Park enjoyed during the 1960s, and this also fueled the opposition to its creation as local residents were hesitant at the potential impact of the influx of visitors to the area. The Bluffland Park is filled with over 20 miles of hiking trails, but also has trails open to bicyclists and equestrians like many other Minnesota state parks. During the winter months, they have trails for snowshoers, winter hikers, and cross-country skiers, although one of the concessions made during its decade of formation was that snowmobilers would not be allowed on the state park grounds. The park is also a good bird-watching area, where you can spot hawks, waterfowl, bluebirds, and meadowlarks, as well as numerous other migratory birds that pass through the park every year. The stats on this park are pretty interesting. In a typical year, Afton State Park will see around 280,000 visitors. The park itself covers around 1,600 acres of land along the St. Croix River, which is about 80 acres larger than William O'Brien State Park. 15 other state parks and recreation areas have been created since it established in 1969, although 4 of them were established before it officially opened to the public in 1982. The park remains popular in part because of its proximity to cities, being only a short 20-minute drive from St. Paul. The hiking club trail starts at the visitor center and then splits into a prairie loop before coming back to the visitor center and heading off towards the rest of the trail. The prairie loop is out in the sun with no shade whatsoever, so be prepared with sunscreen and plenty of water, even though it's a short part of the hike. When the flowers are up, you can spend a great deal of time here enjoying the plants. The prairie section also affords an excellent place to sit at one of the several wooden benches and watch the birds of prey fly above for their next meal. It is a relaxing and peaceful way to start the trail out. Once you complete the loop, you head out towards the picnic area along the higher section of the park and gradually make your way to an overlook of the St. Croix River. After the overlook, you head down to the water level and walk parallel to the river, crossing over a bridge with the tranquil stream that meanders through a group of trees with a high canopy and a lush green vegetation, providing a peaceful place to watch and listen. Shortly after that, you turn away from the busier section of the park and start to walk along a wide dirt path into a more wooden and less traveled portion of the trail. As you turn away from the river area, the bugs do increase slightly, but if you're keeping a good pace or it's been chilly or dry, you shouldn't have to worry about keeping a decent enough pace to keep them off you. From there, the hiking trail does pass right by Afton Alps, the skiing hill that borders the state park, and you can see right to the base of it. It's always interesting to see the ski hills are working on during the summer and get just a sneak peek of the season to come. After passing by the ski area, the trail turns back towards the visitor center parking lot and begins to climb back up to the level you started, adding a small amount of elevation gain to the trail at the end. Thank you for watching, and if you want to keep up with the release of the next hiking club trail, subscribe so you can be reminded when they release monthly on the 15th. Also, don't forget to let us know your favorite trails in your local area.